there's just one game left now in what's been a very long season, an invincible season. First of all, how have the girls come through after that tough test against London?
Yeah, we've not come through too bad. Like always, when you go through a series of competitive games, you've got some bumps and bruises. It has been a long season, starting way back in end of March for us. And we've not had consistency in games, so we've missed a week here and had a couple of weeks missing. So come towards the back end of the season where we've had to play week in, week out now. It's taken its toll a little bit on some of the bodies, but we always knew that was going to happen. We always knew it was going to be a challenge for us, and if you want to be involved in the big games at this time of the year, that's just normal for you.
And it really was probably the biggest challenge you've had all season, wasn't it, London?
Yeah, I thought London were excellent. They were very athletic, very quick, executed the game plan really, really well. We talked about what the threats were. We knew what was going to come, but stopping it was a different matter. We need to be better than we were last week. We knew that. The conditions were quite blustery as well. We were happy to have that win behind us in the second half, but the pleasing thing for me overall, was it our best performance? No, it wasn't. Is there lots of improvement? Yes, there was, but we came from behind twice, we stuck to it, and we played for the full 80 minutes, and we got the win in the end.
Is it a good thing in a way that less than perfect performance has come in the second to last game, so you can correct everything, ready for what is ultimately the most important of all the games?
I don't think it's ever a good thing if you don't get a perfect performance. As coaches, we're quite selfish. We demand high standards. We want the perfect performance in training. We want the perfect performance in games. Realistically, do you ever get that consistently throughout? No, you don't. You have ebbs and flows with it. So for us, it's a little bit of a wake-up call. Some areas we definitely need to improve in. We know we've got another tough task coming this week, another big game for us, but it's one we're looking forward to, and we'll just build on the momentum we've had all year. We've had a really good season so far. The girls have been superb. The fans turning up have been brilliant. We'll just look forward to this week now.
And obviously last season we missed out on this promotion opportunity twice, and you lost a couple of key players as a result of that, girls who went on to play in the Super League. But you've had a lot of girls this season step up for you, no one less so than Hattie Douglas, who's had a player of the match performance in the last two finals for you. How important are figures like Hattie and the others who have stepped up for you?
Yeah, obviously it was disappointing to lose players last year, and that's always going to happen in sport. If teams in a higher division come for you, you can't hold that against anyone's ambition to go and play at the highest level. So it was a bit of a rebuild for us last year. We had a lot of players came in through the season. We still had quite a big transfer of players, people coming in, new players coming into the group, people from outside getting involved, and that adds to competition. And some of those players who've been around now for 2 years, Hattie's one of those. We're relying on their experience. We're relying on them to lead the standards for us, and to take us forward as well. And the girls that have come in have done superb, and every one of them have done a really good job. What small part they've played or a large part, they've all done their job for us, and we've still got one more to go.
And obviously you talked there about the importance of experience. No more did that show than in the sort of last couple of minutes. That last play that got you that winning try, Claire, was pretty incredible getting over that line, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was. She's been around for a long time as Claire, played at the highest level. She's a league girl, and she always wanted to come back and try and help us finish on a high. And so far she's played her part. And ultimately her job was to get us on the front foot and lead us when we were under pressure a little bit. And she did a really good job of that. Backed up by some other senior players within that group. But we need to repeat that again this week, because it's going to be no easy game for us. Featherstone are a really tough team, really physical team. And probably got it over us a couple of times last year as well. So we know what to expect. But turning up again, we have to make sure we're really good on the day.
You just mentioned there that Featherstone are no strangers to you, having played them twice last season in the Championship when they went up. Do you think both teams now are in a very different position to where you were last year when you faced each other?
Yes and no, I think. Featherstone were the best team last year. That's why they went up as winners. They have added some players to their squad, so they've added a bit more depth to it. I know they've struggled a bit with results this year, but they're playing at the highest competition. They've been unlucky with some injuries. They've been unlucky with some close results, and they've just not gone their way. So they've struggled to get a win, but they've still not played really bad in any of those games. I don't see much difference between the team that's playing this year and last year. Whereas for ourselves, I think we're in a better position. We're obviously coming off a winning season. We've got to lean on that. We've got to go towards that. But ultimately, it comes down to one game. We've had to win every single game to get here. Featherstone haven't won a game, but they just need to win one game to stay up. So everything's at stake. It's a weird competition. It's a strange competition. But ultimately, it comes down to this week, and the winner takes it all.
But do you think that winner takes it all mentality, we've been in that situation for the last 3 weeks now, can that give your girls an advantage?
Yeah, it can do, but I'm sure Featherstone, exactly the same boat. They're just talking. We just need to win one game. No matter where the results have gone this year, it comes down to them just to win one game to stay up. For us, we have to win one more game to go up. So there's a lot at stake. I think I saw an interview with Lammy saying, it's a must-win game. And everything's about it. Ours is exactly the same this week. It's a massive weekend for the club. For both for the men's team and the women's team. But something if we're looking at a club who wants to progress, we want to keep growing on the field, off the field. These are the types of games that we need to be involved at all levels. And we're steadily putting our processes and building our foundations, and that takes time. So we look forward to it. We've worked really hard for it, and we have to go in full of confidence and with an open mind, and look forward to enjoying it as well.
And the occasion itself, the curtain raiser for the grand final, you've been there before in last year's format. Obviously, we also travelled there and lost out to Barrow. How important can the lessons learned there be to help the girls move on one step further?
Yeah, I think one of the things when we started last year was a relatively new group in terms of where we stepped up into the league, what we're at in terms of trying to be as professional as we can and being part of big occasions. The full group will admit last year I think some of those occasions got to us, but we've been through that experience now. We've had the experience of big games, we've played on big venues, we've had a couple of games on the field sat behind us here. We've been in a couple of finals, we've brought girls into the squad who've got more experience, so they're the type of things as a group now we're leaning on. We're not worried about the big occasion. We just got to focus on our job, make sure we do our job and get it right.